Before we embark on this fascinating journey into Viking society, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more incredible historical documentaries, and let us know in the comments where in the world you're watching from. We love hearing from our global community of history enthusiasts. In the mist-shrouded fjords of medieval Scandinavia, where the aurora borealis danced across endless winter nights, there existed a society governed by codes of honor so intricate and demanding that they shaped every aspect of daily life. The Vikings, those legendary seafarers and traders who left their mark across continents, lived by principles that modern minds might find both fascinating and bewildering. Picture, if you will, a longhouse filled with the warm glow of hearth fires where families gathered during the harsh Nordic winters. The walls, adorned with intricate wood carvings depicting mythological tales, bore witness to conversations that revealed the very soul of Viking culture. Here, reputation wasn't merely important, it was everything. A person standing in the community determined their worth, their prospects for marriage, their success in trade, and their place in the eternal halls of their ancestors. The concept of unmanliness in Viking society extended far beyond what we might expect today. It wasn't simply about physical prowess or courage in exploration, though these certainly mattered. The Vikings had developed an elaborate social framework that defined proper behavior, and deviation from these expectations carried consequences that could echo through generations. Imagine Thorvald Eriksson, a fictional but representative figure of his time, standing before the Thing, the democratic assembly that served as both courthouse and parliament in Viking communities. The Thing was held in sacred groves or stone circles, places where the gods themselves were believed to witness the proceedings. Here, under the vast Nordic sky, with ravens circling overhead as omens from Odin himself, accusations of improper behavior were brought forward with the gravity of life and death matters. The accusation of ergi, a term that encompassed various forms of behavior deemed unworthy, was perhaps one of the most serious charges that could be leveled against a Viking. This wasn't merely about personal conduct, it was about the fundamental order of their universe. The Vikings believed that maintaining proper social roles was essential for the favor of their gods and the prosperity of their communities. In their cosmology, the world tree Yggdrasil held together 9 realms, each with its own inhabitants and rules. Just as this cosmic order had to be maintained for the universe to function, so too did the social order require careful preservation. A person accused of ergi was seen as disrupting this divine balance, potentially bringing misfortune not just upon themselves, but upon their entire clan and community. The evidence presented at these gatherings was rarely simple. Witnesses would come forward, merchants who had observed unusual behavior in distant markets, fellow seafarers who had noted departures from expected conduct during long voyages, or neighbors who had witnessed domestic arrangements that deviated from traditional norms. The Vikings were keen observers of human nature, and their oral tradition preserved stories and precedents that guided their judgments. What makes this particularly fascinating is how the Vikings' understanding of proper behavior was deeply intertwined with their spiritual beliefs. They worshipped gods who themselves displayed complex personalities and behaviors. Odin, the All-Father, was known for his cunning and occasional deception. Loki, the trickster, challenged conventional boundaries, and Freya, the goddess of love and fertility, wielded power in ways that transcended simple gender roles. Yet despite this complexity in their pantheon, Viking society maintained strict expectations for human behavior. The concept of honor, drengskapur, required individuals to demonstrate courage, loyalty, generosity, and adherence to social norms. Those who failed to meet these standards faced not just social disapproval, but spiritual consequences that could affect their journey to the afterlife. As winter storms howled across the frozen landscapes of Scandinavia and families huddled together, sharing stories that would be remembered for generations, The weight of these social expectations pressed upon every individual. The stakes were higher than mere embarrassment or temporary shame. They involved one's eternal legacy and the welfare of loved ones. But what exactly happened to those who found themselves accused of such serious transgressions? How did a society known for its democratic assemblies and complex legal codes address these charges? The answers reveal a justice system more nuanced and surprising than many might expect. The morning mist rose from the fjords as the Thing Assembly reconvened, marking the beginning of a process that would demonstrate the sophisticated nature of Viking justice. Unlike the harsh stereotypes often associated with medieval Scandinavia, the actual resolution of accusations regarding unmanliness revealed a society deeply committed to restoration, community harmony, and second chances. When someone like our fictional Thorvald faced such accusations, the Viking legal system offered multiple pathways toward resolution. The Thing operated not as a punitive institution seeking retribution, but as a community forum dedicated to restoring balance and maintaining social cohesion. The assembled free men and women for Viking society granted women remarkable legal rights for its time, would listen carefully to all evidence and testimony before determining the most appropriate course of action. One of the most remarkable aspects of Viking justice was the concept of ret, making things right. Rather than focusing solely on punishment, the legal system emphasized restoration and reintegration. A person accused of improper behavior could often restore their standing through specific actions that demonstrated their commitment to community values and their willingness to uphold social expectations. Consider the case of compensation and public demonstration. An accused individual might be required to host a great feast, demonstrating their generosity and commitment to community bonds. These weren't simple parties, but elaborate affairs that could last for days, featuring storytelling, poetry recitation, and gift-giving that reinforced social connections throughout the region. The accused would spare no expense, often traveling great distances to procure the finest mead, the most exotic foods available through trade networks, and entertainment that would be remembered for years to come. The Vikings also recognized the power of pilgrimage and adventure as means of restoration. An accused person might embark on a trading expedition to distant lands, demonstrating courage and bringing back wealth and prestige to their community. These journeys weren't exile, but opportunities for redemption through service to the collective good. Imagine Thorvald setting sail for the markets of Constantinople or the trading posts of Ireland, carrying with him not shame, but purpose and the hopes of his community for successful commerce and cultural exchange. Perhaps most surprisingly, the Viking system often incorporated what we might recognize today as community service. An accused individual could restore their reputation by contributing to public works, helping to build or repair bridges, contributing labor to the construction of defensive structures, or supporting community projects that benefited everyone. These activities weren't punitive labor, but honored contributions that demonstrated commitment to the common good. The role of skalds, the poet-historians of Viking society, was crucial in this process of restoration. These masterful storytellers could craft new narratives that reframed an individual's reputation, celebrating their contributions and minimizing past missteps. The power of story in Viking culture cannot be overstated. These were people who believed that being remembered in song and saga was a form of immortality. A skilled skald could literally rewrite someone's legacy, transforming shame into honor through the artful retelling of their deeds. Women played particularly important roles in these restoration processes. Viking society granted women significant influence in matters of reputation and social standing. A mother, sister, or wife could speak powerfully on behalf of an accused family member, and their testimony carried considerable weight. Moreover, The act of marriage itself could serve as a form of social redemption, as it demonstrated that someone of good standing was willing to bind their reputation to that of the accused. The Vikings also understood the importance of time in healing social wounds. Many cases were resolved through temporary withdrawal from public life, allowing emotions to cool and perspectives to shift. During this period, the accused individual might focus on developing their skills as craftspeople, traders, or scholars of law and custom. When they eventually returned to full participation in community life, they often brought new expertise and wisdom that enhanced their standing. Religious observance provided another pathway to restoration. The Vikings might require participation in important religious festivals, contributions to temple maintenance, or leadership in community rituals that honored the gods. These activities demonstrated spiritual commitment and reinforced the accused person's connection to the cosmic order that governed Viking society. What's particularly fascinating is how this system of restoration often resulted in individuals becoming stronger community leaders than they had been before their accusations. The process of working to rebuild their reputation developed character, demonstrated resilience, and created deeper bonds with community members who had witnessed their dedication to making amends. The wisdom of Viking justice lay in its recognition that humans are complex beings capable of growth and change. Rather than defining people permanently by their mistakes, the system provided structured opportunities for individuals to demonstrate their worth and recommit to community values. This approach strengthened the entire society by maintaining the principle that everyone had the potential for honor and contribution. As the northern lights flickered across the winter sky, casting ethereal colors over the snow-covered settlements, the restored individuals would often become some of the most valued members of their communities. Their journey through accusation and redemption had taught them valuable lessons about the importance of reputation, the power of community support, and the possibility of transformation. The legacy of this sophisticated approach to justice reveals a society far more nuanced and thoughtful than popular stereotypes suggest. A civilization that valued honor not as a rigid set of rules, but as a living principle that could be damaged, restored, and even strengthened through the trials of human experience. The Viking approach to accusations of unmanliness reveals a sophisticated society that prioritized restoration over punishment, community harmony over individual shame, and the possibility of redemption over permanent social exclusion. Their legal systems, democratic assemblies, and cultural practices demonstrate that these medieval Scandinavians understood profound truths about human nature, social cohesion, and the importance of second chances. In studying these historical practices, we discover that the Vikings' greatest strength may not have been their ships, their trading networks, or their exploration of distant lands, but rather their ability to maintain strong communities through systems that acknowledged human fallibility while providing pathways back to honor and acceptance. The echoes of their wisdom continue to resonate today, reminding us that true strength lies not in perfection, but in the courage to grow, change, and contribute to the welfare of our communities, just as those ancient Scandinavians did under the dancing lights of the Aurora Borealis over 1,000 years ago.